Hi guys, and welcome to the second of our ab workouts. Today's focus is pretty much going to be on what we call stabilisation. Most people refer to it as sort of planks and variations thereof. Workout one focused pretty much on the shortening and lengthening of the muscles, which is what most of us refer to as sort of curl-ups, crunches, that sort of stuff. So today we're going to flip it around a little bit, primarily just to help those people that may have had some back challenges in the past and don't get on too well with the normal sort of standard ab stuff. So to begin with, we're going to start by looking at the three-quarter plank, then we're up into the plank, and then we're just going to add a little sort of leg raise into that as well before moving over onto the side plank. So to begin with, in our three-quarter plank, we're actually just going to lay yourself down flat on the floor, and I want you to begin with the forearms parallel, elbows directly below the shoulders, laces out nice and flat. Now from there, the knees are going to stay on the floor, and we're just going to raise the hips upwards until the backside comes up to create a tabletop, so the back's nice and flat. From this position, we're then going to pull the abs in nice and tight and squeeze the glutes. Now believe it or not guys, although it doesn't look like there's a lot to this, you can actually get a really good contraction in the abs going on in this position. Now for those of the people that can do this comfortably for 15-30 seconds for 3 or 4 reps, then basically what I would like you to do is to take your weight out onto your toes and bring the knees up. So when we're in this position, you notice very little's changed other than the fact that the hips are now up. And what we're looking for is a nice straight line from the shoulder, the hip and the ankle. Now, as we progress through this, you'll probably notice that I start to shake a little bit more. That's a good indication that the abs are actually doing the work that we want them to do, and the fact that I obviously don't do as enough of these as I should do. But the key thing with it is to make sure again that the abs are pulled in nice and tight, the glutes are nice and tight, and you retain a nice, relaxed, rhythmic breathing. Okay? Now, the reason for the breathing is that technically we refer to these as stabilisation exercises, which means that the intra-abdominal pressure increases quite significantly. So if any of you are challenged with blood pressure or anything along those lines, or high blood pressure or anything along those lines, it's really important that you continue to breathe throughout rather than holding your breath. Okay, so next one, we're going to take the full plank and we're just going to add in a little single leg raise. Now, when we raise the leg, what we're aiming to do is try to keep the pelvis as straight as we can. We're not looking to lift the foot 3, 4, 5 inches off the floor. It's just literally enough for somebody to slide a piece of paper underneath it so that you can actually make sure that you're keeping your pelvis nice and square. So again, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll just show you the front on this one so that you can ensure that the forearms remain parallel throughout rather than this position. A lot of people take up this position, which makes you a lot more stable. So please, if you can, keep the arms out to the side. Now, with the feet, what we're looking for, again, we're back up into normal plank. Now, this is all we're looking for when we raise the foot. You might just be able to make out daylight. The key thing for you is to keep the abs tight, the glutes tight, and to try to stop the body weight and the pelvis moving from left to right. So it's all about keeping the pelvis square as we alternate from side to side. So we're up, 2, 3, 4, and down. And up, and down. And then of course you can carry out 5, 6, 7 repetitions of those, whichever you feel most comfortable with. Now, moving on to side plank, again we're going to start that in sort of a shortened position in terms of the three-quarter. So, elbows directly below the shoulder. Again, a recurring theme, straight lines, knees, hips, shoulder, straight line. From where we are, we then bring the hip up, through centre line, middle of the thigh, belly button, right the way up through the torso. And if I wasn't talking to you guys, you should be looking sort of straight through over there. Now from that three-quarter position, this is where all the tension is in the obliques on this side. This bit's a bit fairly relaxed. To take that up into the full, we come down, we extend the legs out. The basics are still the same, nice straight line all the way through. We come up, and again. A little bit more challenging than the first one, certainly a lot more work going on through there. You give that little pat and you can feel the difference between here and here. So it's important that when you do this properly, of course you do it on both sides. And then down. So what we're going to do is I'll spin across the other side now. It's just to add in a little arm movement on each of these. So again, we've got our straight lines. Elbow is directly below the shoulder. We come up. So in our 3/4 position, we're now going to raise the arm. So it's directly above the shoulder. And then we're going to bring it back down. And we're going to bring it back up. And this time we're going to come to the front. And then back up to that midline again. Down to the side. Now I know, again, this looks fairly innocuous, guys. But don't knock it until you've tried it. You'll be surprised. Up it comes. And then down. And of course, we're going to extend that one again. So we've got our full side plank. We're up. We're going to come up. Down to the front. To the top. To the side. You got it. Now the key thing again, guys, is keep the breathing as relaxed as you can. Maintain the tension in the tummy. And keep the glutes squeezed nice and tight. Okay, now, finally on this side, just to give you an insight, we can have a little leg raise as well as an arm raise. So, we're going to go from the 3/4 position, on account of the fact I'm not strong enough to do it from the full position. We're going to come up, and we're just going to begin by raising that leg. And of course, if you combine the two, through there. And again, as innocuous as it looks, it is actually quite challenging. Now, you can try the full length, but as I say, for me personally, it does create 1 or 2 challenges, so I'm not going to go there today, but certainly a progression for people, it is an excellent exercise. Now, the key thing to try and get your head around with the planking aspect of these exercises is really to make sure that the focus is always on keeping the breathing relaxed, pulling the abs in and keeping the glutes nice and tight. And in terms of turning it into a workout, maybe 30 seconds of each, making sure again that you take it in on both sides so that you're working both sides equally when it comes to doing sort of side planks and that kind of thing. Outside of that, guys, we'll endeavour to sort of drop another workout, probably the final one of the ab one, maybe on Saturday. But if you do have any specific exercises that you'd like to be covered in terms of core or ab work, please feel free to do the usual. Drop me a line either on Facebook, email, or on the club app. So have a fantastic day, guys, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.